Legend of Korra Book 3 Season Premiere, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I thought this was a great season premiere. I'm very excited for this season to see some of the new characters and how they progress. I love the villains so far, even though we only really got their introductions. I love the villains. I love the couple of new characters we got to see. I really like the character Kai. But overall, I thought this was a great season premiere. I was really happy to see that we got to see the third episode, but that's because um, it's actually going to be taking a break for like a week or two or something like that. So that's why we got three episodes instead of the normal 1 hour premiere. We got the whole hour and a half. But I really enjoyed that. The actual season premiere itself, the first part was really good. We got to, excuse me, see all the characters, see how the city was progressing after harmonic convergence. We find out that it's really only been a couple of weeks since the previous season, so that gave us a clear timeline. There wasn't a lot of time that progressed after what happened last season. It was a couple of weeks. People were like, what the heck are we going to do? There are giant vines all over the place. They mentioned it a few times about how Korra doesn't really have high poll numbers. I thought that was interesting, as if she's running for something, but she's not really getting a great response from people because of her doing harmonic convergence, or what she did during harmonic convergence and letting the spirits in. She's not exactly in the best light because from all the citizens, and neither is the mayor. And he tries to put the blame on her early on in the episode, but she tried to do what she could. And even when everyone walks away, she does kind of doubt herself again, where she feels like she should be able to fix things because of course she's the avatar. But it was a good start. I feel like they branched off from that because of course it's the season premiere, so they wanted to give us bits and pieces of everything. So that was how it started, and it kind of picks up after the season. But I enjoyed that, and of course the very first scene was actually Boomy and his little fluffy spirit, and him learning to airbend when it's at the last second when his life was in danger. So that was really cool. It wasn't a surprise to me because I'd seen the trailer. So when they did it that way, it was like if I hadn't seen the trailer, or they never put in the fact that there were airbenders in there, or new airbenders, that would have blown my mind because it was just like, with it being Boomy, it wasn't like the huge revelation scene. It was just like, did you see that? And it's because that's Boomy's character. But having seen it in the trailer, it was still cool to see, and I was surprised it was so early on. I figured that would actually happen a little bit later, but that was the very first scene, so that was really great. And they took off from there, and then it's like, we've done Republic City, we've done the, I think it was the Southern Water Tribe that they did last season. So we got new Republic City, like Republic City 2.5 or 1.5, I guess, I don't know, but they showed us that how it's different. Korra tried to fix things with her spirit powers, and when she did that, I was wondering where would the spirits go, because when she did that in the last season, it calmed the spirits down and it sent them back to the spirit world, but now the worlds have merged. And I was curious as to where they would go, but they just receded, and then they of course shot back up, and they seemed really angry. So that clearly isn't the answer, and I'm excited to see how that comes into play. With her trying to do that, it clearly upset the spirits because the vines just grabbed onto the other building and we're about to bring it all down. So we'll have to see how that plays out through the rest of this season. But that was cool, and then they shoot off to other places, and that was great. I love seeing that. We got to see a ton of other cool places. We got to see the White Lotus Society because they're the ones kind of protecting these new villains that we get. And when I saw the trailer, I thought they were just villains. They were just going to be separate villains, but they're actually a band of villains, four of them. I did not realize in the trailer that the woman who was a waterbender didn't actually have arms. So when I actually realized that, I was like, she doesn't have arms at all. I thought that was amazing. I thought that's really cool. It's really unique. We have a armless waterbender, and she of course uses the water as her arms, and she connects it to her body so that she can climb around and stuff. That was really cool. I love the guy who is the leader and who ended up becoming an airbender. And the first thing I noticed when he was fighting against the White Lotus people is that this guy, before he had airbending powers, was clearly a highly trained fighter. He was obviously very smart, and he knew how to fight people, or fight multiple people. And he was the one person out of his entire group who wasn't an actual bender, so he had to learn how to dodge fire and dodge water and dodge earthbending and stuff like that. So it was cool to see him using airbending. But you could just see without him having those powers, it was like that's how he escaped. But this guy was clearly so amazing. It just helped him be even stronger. But he was clearly an amazing fighter. He was dodging everything, and he just used the little free moments that he had to use his airbending and lock the White Lotus people up before he escaped. But I thought he looked cool. The partner he got, who's the magma bender, that was really cool to see. And I love how he turned it into like a little shuriken, and he chopped his way out of his wooden cell, and he kicked that open, and then they beat up the guys. Then they get the woman, and we don't get to see it in these 3 episodes where they actually get the leader's girlfriend. But I love how, and this is of course a huge thing, we get to see Zuko. I wasn't expecting to see him in the first 3 episodes. That really, that really surprised me. I thought that was going to be much later on, where they put it in the trailer like he's coming at some point, and they're going to go to the Fire Nation. But it was him. After he found out what happened with the other 3 people, he was like, we have to go to the northern water tribe so that we can keep this woman in her cell. And I love how he mentioned the fact that she has the same power as Sparky Sparky Boom Man from the original series, and how he used it, or he hired that guy to kill Lang and stuff. I thought that was a cool, funny little scene, and it was great to see Eska and Desna in there as well. And based on the trailer, the people are gonna go to the Northern Water Tribe, and they're gonna have to defend against these 3 people. And I have to assume they're gonna lose this fight. It's only gonna be like Deska, Esna, Zuko, and Korra's father, and they won't be strong enough to beat these 4 people. And as Zuko said himself, one of them alone was really powerful, but all of them together could like destroy the world pretty much. So I love these 4 characters. They're all incredibly powerful, and an incredibly powerful little gang. And for some reason, they want to kill the Avatar. So that really has me excited. And they seem almost like religious zealots in a sense, like really strong on trying to go kill Korra for some reason. And the reason I think that is because when the leader goes and gets the lava bender or magma bender, he says me getting this airbending was a gift, and it lets me know that our path is righteous. So he clearly has some stuff going on where he thinks killing the Avatar is for some reason really good for the world, and it's something that he needs to do. But I like his character, him, how he kind of taunted the White Lotus people by telling them the story about the old airbender. I thought that was cool. I love all the villains so far. Great introductions for all of them. Like I said, I really love the guy using the magma bending. I thought it made it really unique. It wasn't just, oh, there are more people using bending powers. Guy using airbending, very unique, because we don't get to see that too much. This is really going to be the first season where we actually get a lot of fighting, and it's going to be a lot of airbending. This is going to, like, ironically, this will be the season where it's all about air. So that'll be cool. The magma bending is new. The woman using water bending, of course, we've seen water bending, but she uses it as her arm. So I'd like to see how that changes her fighting style, because she doesn't do all of this and that. She just has water arms. And then, of course, the woman who's like Sparky Sparky Boom Man and has the tattoo, or I guess just the third eye. I don't. They might explain that actually. I'd love to see them actually create lore for why those characters have that third eye and why it allows them to bend. Because I know the guy in the original Avatar, he was able to do that because something happened. He went through like some head trauma, and that's why he was only able to firebend through his third eye. So I'd love to see if that was his daughter or something, and that's how that went, and it was a tattoo or whatever, and he just recreated that so that he could basically have kids who had the same power as him. But I'd like to see the story behind that actual power, because we don't really get it outside of it's actually really powerful, and you just focus on something and you just shoot like a laser beam pretty much that ends with an explosion. So excited to see them actually band together and go after Korra. Really excited to see more recruits come in. We got to see that in a trailer where they do get a lot of people to join Tenzin, and they work under him as new airbending recruits. I love the little recruiting scene where they couldn't get anyone except for Kai, and I love his character. He's the little wayward kid who gets captured in the end. So he's gonna turn to the path of good, of course, but he's gonna have to be saved first. And I think a lot of those characters who were in prison with him are going to become a lot of the recruits that Korra and Tenzin end up gathering in the coming episodes. But it was a great season premiere. Loved the third episode. The third was probably my favorite, actually, just because the first two are always really tied close together, and this one was obviously the first that had its own separate story, which was really focused on Mako and Bolin. That was at least half of it. I feel like that was most of it, really. And they actually meet their family, so that was really cool too. But it was a great episode. I'm excited for the next one to see what we get out of Kai, if he's gonna try to rally the troops inside the prison and try to bust out of there. But I'm excited for it, and I'm really excited to see how crazy the Earth Kingdom is now, because it's very clear that instead of the Dai Li being controlled by the subordinate guy like in the original Avatar, that the old Earth King has had a daughter, and she's just evil, and she's the one leading the Dai Li, and it's not anything hidden. It's just like everyone knows the queen sucks, and she's taking the money from the people. She's making them live in the slums, and she's the bad one. There's no denying that. She's got like all the gold and stuff on her. Like, look at me, I got these weird gold sharp fingers for some reason, and she's just bad. So I can't wait to see her get her comeuppance, I guess. I don't know why I said it that way, but I love to see her suddenly burst out like Boomy in the original series, and she's just actually a powerful earthbender. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, and how Korra takes over sort of the Earth Kingdom and puts the people in charge, and it'll change the Earth Kingdom all over again. But that place is, I thought it was going to be nice and simple, and then it's just like it was in the original, which is actually cool, because I love the Dai Li being evil, because they're just so statuesque, and then it's just like the rock hand stuff, and they imprison people. So great premiere. Can't wait for this fourth episode to come out. For anyone who doesn't know, I think it's episode 3, 4, 5, and 6 that have been leaked online, but they're only in Spanish as far as I know so far. But if you know Spanish, you can look those up now, and you'll learn some information that's very interesting for this season. But great season premiere. Love the third episode as well. We got to see Zuko. We got to see all of our villains. Great powers, silly moments, and I love the fact that they solved one of the biggest issues that people kind of had with the first two seasons, which was the whole love triangle thing. That's just kind of done. It's like Zuko, not Zuko, Mako, he was nervous, and I love that. Those were some funny moments. But Korra and Asami, they're over it. It's just like, hey, it happened. We're past it. We're friends, and they had a cool fight scene. I love that fight scene. It was cool to see Asami not have to worry about herself. She was like dodging kicks and stuff, jumping over people and taking the weapons. So it'll be cool to see them team up a lot more in this season and have their own little adventures, because they've gotten past the whole love triangle crap, and they can all just be friends as soon as Mako is over his nervousness. But I love that part of it. It's just they're all Team Avatar. They're all just friends now. So excited for that as well. But comment below, let me know what you guys saw the premiere as well as the third episode, and what do you guys think of the season so far? Do you like the new villains? Do you like the fact that they have the airbenders now, or the new airbenders? Do you like the new characters we've gotten to see? And what in the trailer do you really want to see the most? Like, what did you see that was in there that you really hope comes out of this fourth episode? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.